Night had swallowed Citadel whole. In one of its forgotten corners, where neon lights flickered weakly against cracked concrete, a group of young addicts huddled in a shadow-choked alley. Eyes hollow, hands trembling, breath shallow, waiting. A car idled beside them. Its engine growled softly. The doors creaked open. Men stepped out. Dealers. Cold. Precise. Unhurried. One of them lifted a metallic case. Click. It opened. Inside, rows of small black capsules. The dealers smirked. That was all it took. The addicts surged forward, desperate, shaking, breaking. Money changed hands, and whatever hope they had left was traded away in silence. High above them, perched on a crumbling ledge, sat Kukaracha. His insect-like visor glowed faintly in the darkness. Unmoving, unseen, watching. Kara's voice crackled through his comms. This is a new drug spreading through Citadel over the past few months. A pause. They call it pestilence. Below, the exchange continued. Desperate eyes, souls being sold one capsule at a time. Kukaracha did not move. He simply watched. Kara's voice returned. Quieter now. The user enters a state of complete euphoria. No hunger, no thirst, no pain. Her voice hardened, but when it fades, they come back begging for more. As usual, Kara said bitterly, the heroes have turned a blind eye. They don't consider this a priority. And since these are not superpowered villains, this is your job. Your first task. Follow the dealers. Find their hideout. Below, the dealers entered their car, engine roaring to life. They drove off into the night. Kukaracha leapt silently into the air, flying above them, tracking, watching, hunting, elsewhere in the city. Far from the shadows of addiction, the great beard hero stood silently atop a towering structure, watching. Below him, a heavily armored convoy moved through the streets. Police escorts surrounding a reinforced transport vehicle. Kara's voice returned. Beard hero. That's Mikhail Sukorov. Codename Bloodthirst. Akagan's eyes narrowed. Inside the transport vehicle, a man sat in restraints. Calm, silent, waiting. Kara continued. T.A. villain. He gains power by drinking the blood of his victims. With every drug, his body hardens. He becomes stronger, tougher, deadlier. 5 years ago, he slaughtered 3 silver rank heroes, drained them completely, absorbed their strength. Her voice lowered. He was eventually defeated by a gold rank hero, Gray Shinobi, and imprisoned in maximum security. The convoy continued moving, but Kara wasn't finished. There's more. Mikhail Sukorov was also the leader of the White Orca Syndicate, the largest organized crime network Citadel has ever seen. After his imprisonment, the syndicate was taken over by another group, the Neanderthals. Kara exhaled slowly, but Sukorov still has influence. Politicians, officials, people who owe him favors. And now, he's being transferred from maximum security to a regular prison. Kara's voice came through the comms, steady, deliberate, and grave. If his followers attempt a rescue. She paused. You cannot let him escape. Silence followed. The great beard hero stood watching the convoy from afar. His fists tightened. His eyes burned with resolve. All right. Far away. Inside their hidden base, Kara leaned back in her chair, exhausted, monitoring multiple screens. She sighed. Man, technical support for 2 heroes is exhausting. Fiona smiled gently beside her. She handed Kara a cup of coffee. But there's no one better at it than you. Kara accepted it, the warmth of the cup settling into her hands, steadying herself. Because tonight, 2 heroes depended on her. The dealer's car slowed, headlights cutting through the darkness. It turned off the main road, into ruins, an abandoned school, broken gates, cracked walls, windows like hollow eyes staring into nothing. The car rolled to a stop at the shattered entrance. Doors opened. The thug stepped out, laughing, careless. Above them, Kukaracha descended silently from the sky, landing on the broken concrete. Unseen, Kara's voice came through his comms. So, how do you like the nanite suit Fiona gave you? I see you used the same design I created. Kukaracha smirked beneath his mask. I couldn't think of anything better. Kara chuckled softly. Remember, the nanite suit is connected directly to your mind. You can rearrange the nanites. Make it softer, quieter, stealthier. Kukaracha nodded. Got it. He focused. The nanits shifted, softening, darkening, absorbing light. He became part of the shadows. He moved forward, silently, following them inside. The interior was worse. Dust covered everything. Broken desks, collapsed ceilings, the ghosts of forgotten classrooms. Kukaracha crept behind them, silent, precise. He followed them into one of the classrooms. Inside, nearly 50 men gathered. Criminals, dealers, enforcers. Money and drugs covered the tables. Thud! A heavy duffel bag hit the desk, spilling stacks of cash inside. One of the thugs smirked. How'd the run go? Another leaned back, laughing darkly. Those junkies can't get enough. They come crawling for it, every time. The room filled with cruel laughter. A third thug ran his fingers through the money, eyes gleaming. The boss is going to love this. He lifted a bundle of bills, grinning wider. Then, screech, a car stopped outside. Not just any car, a majestic white sedan. Elegant, expensive, out of place. The room went silent. It's the boss. Kukaracha reacted instantly, leaping upward, clinging to the ceiling, invisible in the darkness. The door opened. Footsteps entered. 3 bodyguards first. Kukaracha whispered, "Kara, are you getting this?" Kara's voice came back instantly. "Yes. The camera I integrated into your nanit suit is working perfectly." A pause. "That's him. Imabe Karim. TC villain." Kukaracha watched carefully. Kara continued, "He can extend a spike from his wrist, made entirely of bone." She paused briefly. "In terms of power, he's nothing special. But in terms of influence, he's everything." He started as a street dealer, a nobody. But after Mikhail Sukorov's imprisonment, he used strategy, manipulation, ruthlessness to build his own empire. Kara's voice hardened. The Neanderthals, like their name suggests, they constantly relocate. They never stay in one place. They're almost impossible to track. A pause. Kara's tone shifted. "But today," a faint smile in her voice, "we hit the jackpot. The boss himself is right in front of you." Imabe Karim stood at the center of the room. His presence alone silenced 50 hardened criminals. He looked down at the stacks of money, satisfied, but not impressed. "I see you've managed a huge haul this time." His voice was calm, cold, but this is not enough. The thugs fell silent. Pestilence must spread, not just through Citadel, but through every part of Liberty Nation. His eyes hardened. Until then, the Neanderthals must never be satisfied. The men nodded immediately. "Yes, boss." Karim turned slightly. "All right, load the money and the drugs." He pointed toward 2 groups. "Half of you to the source, the other half to the hospital." Then he began walking toward the exit, leaving, above him, Kukaracha clung silently to the ceiling, watching everything unfold. He whispered urgently, "Kara, what am I supposed to do?" "They are splitting with the money and the drugs, and Karim is leaving. If I don't engage now, we may lose everything." A pause. "Kara, can you hear me?" Static crackled briefly. Then, "Yes, I hear you." Kara's voice was tense, thinking fast. "If you follow the money, you lose Karim. If you follow Karim," she said quietly, "you'll bury the truth beneath his influence. His lawyers will shield him. He'll walk free." Her voice lowered, heavy with certainty. "Because without the money and drugs, we'll never have a proof. Let Karim leave, then go after the money and the drugs. And the thugs." She hesitated briefly. "Karim is a supervillain, and a smart one. That's not your fight. That's the Great Beard Hero's responsibility. You handle the street-level criminals." Behind Kara, Fiona watched quietly, sipping her coffee, observing, analyzing. Kukaracha moved. He slowly descended from the ceiling, silent, invisible. Below him, the thugs loaded the money into a truck. Kukaracha spoke, "Going somewhere." The room froze. "Who's there?" A thug turned. Too late. Kukaracha moved like a flash, disarming him and knocking him straight to the ground. Slam! The thug hit the ground unconscious. The others reacted immediately, weapons drawn, knuckle dusters, steel rods, blades. They surrounded him, 50 against 1. They charged, one after another, swinging wildly. Kukaracha moved like water, dodging effortlessly, predicting every strike. He raised his arm. Black slug projectiles fired from his palm, pinning thugs to the walls. to the floor, immobilized. He struck back. Kick, punch, elbow. Bodies dropped rapidly. The remaining thugs panicked. They ran. Kukaracha launched into the air, flying above them, landing directly in front of their escape path, blocking them. Final combination strikes. Precise, efficient, devastating, securing them completely. He spoke calmly into his comm. It's done. Kara exhaled in relief. I've already informed the police. They are on their way. Good job. Sirens echoed in the distance. Moments later, police flooded the abandoned school, weapons drawn, securing the scene. A man stepped forward. Calm, professional. Good work, Kukaracha. He extended his hand slightly. I'm Detective Oliver Hunt. We'll take it from here. All right then, Detective. I'll leave the rest to you. And with that, he disappeared into the night. Meanwhile, high above the city streets, Akigan stood silently, watching. Below him, the convoy moved forward under heavy escort. Armored military trucks, police vehicles, flashing red and blue lights cutting through the night. At the center, the prison transport vehicle, carrying one of Citadel's most dangerous monsters. Inside one of the escort vehicles, a police officer spoke nervously. Commissioner Jones, you didn't have to come personally. We have 3 army trucks and 7 police cars escorting Mikhail Sukorov. We've got this handled. Commissioner Jones stared ahead, silent, then spoke. When I was a rookie, just hearing the name Mikhail Sukorov, or the White Orchis Syndicate, sent chills down every officer's spine. His grip tightened. No one dared interfere with his operations. No amount of evidence could put him behind bars. Until 5 years ago, his voice hardened. Cosmo, a good friend of mine, and a silver rank hero. He tracked Sukorov, collected surveillance, gathered proof, cornered him. Then, that bloodthirsty monster killed him. His jaw clenched and ripped 2 other silver rank heroes to pieces. Right in front of my eyes, the memory weighed heavy. I stood there, frozen, helpless. I would have died too, if Grey Shinobi hadn't intervened. So yes, I need to see this transval completed myself. Understood. The officer nodded immediately. Yes, Commissioner. Suddenly, wait, what is that? The road ahead shimmered strangely, covered in a thick, jello-like substance. Don't stop. Keep moving. The convoy rolled forward, but something was wrong. The vehicle slowed, highs sinking, losing traction. The jelly tightened, gripping, trapping. Then, from the shadows, a massive figure emerged from the smoke. Electricity crackling violently across his body. Power cell. Beside him, a shifting silhouette rose from the jello-like substance coating the road. Limbs forming, reforming, unstable. Amoeba, the source of the gelatinous trap beneath the convoy. Power cell lifted both arms and unleashed a violent surge of electricity. The current raced through the jello-like fluid. Vehicles immobilized. Ambush. Officers raised their weapons, firing relentlessly. But Power Cell stepped forward calmly. An electric barrier surrounded him. Bullets melted before reaching his body. Beside him, Amoeba advanced. Bullets passed straight through his liquefied form. Useless. Meaningless. An officer shouted in horror. It's Power Cell and Amoeba. Mikhail's right-hand men. All units engage. Chaos erupted. And above it all, standing on the edge of a skyscraper, the Great Beard Hero. He looked down at the chaos unfolding below. Exploding tires. Electric surges. Officers scrambling. What the hell? Without hesitation, he leapt, boots grinding against the glass surface as he skated down the skyscraper's side at breakneck speed. Sparks trailing behind him, descending fast toward the war zone below. Power Cell raised his arms slowly. Electricity gathered, forming a massive sphere of pure destructive energy in his palm. The air screamed. He hurled it forward, slammed into the first army truck. The vehicle exploded instantly. Officers inside never had a chance. Beside him, Amoeba advanced. His jello-like arm shifted violently, transforming into a massive scythe. His other arm thickened, morphing into a gigantic hammer. He swung. An officer fell. Another was smashed into the asphalt. Commissioner Jones. Fall back, an officer yelled. No, he shouted. Mikhail must not escape. Officers grabbed him, dragging him away by force, protecting him. Then, the road shattered on impact. Concrete split. Dust exploded upward in a violent wave. A figure landed, heavy, unshaken, between the monsters and the convoy, the great beard hero. He rose slowly from his crouch. He looked around. Burning vehicles, twisted metal, dead officers lying across the asphalt. What the hell? His voice low, controlled. It's been less than a minute, and they've already done this much damage. He stepped forward. I'm sorry for the delay. I'll handle it from here. He glanced back briefly. You secure the prisoner. Commissioner Jones stared at him, stunned. Wait. You're taking them both on by yourself. Akigan didn't answer. He was already moving, running straight toward Power Cell. Kara's voice crackled in his comms. Great beard hero, listen carefully. These two are TB individually, unlike the sinister siblings, who were classified TB together. Power Cell laughed, electric barrier blazing around him. Come on then, give me your best shot. Akigan didn't slow down, didn't hesitate. He punched. Boom boom. The electric barrier shattered instantly. Power Cell's eyes widened. Impossible. Akigan's fist connected. Direct. Devastating. Crack. Power Cell's jaw twisted violently. His body launched through the air, slamming across the road. Amoeba turned. Shocked. Who is this? He attacked immediately, hammer arms swinging downward. Akigan didn't dodge. Instead, he brought both hands together, clapped them with crushing force. A violent sonic shockwave erupted outward. Wham! The blast tore through Amoeba's liquefied body. His form destabilized instantly, exploding apart into dozens of gelatinous fragments across the asphalt. The road was coated in twitching drops of living jelly. Silence fell. Officers stayed in disbelief. Commissioner Jones stared at the battlefield. He whispered, "Who is this guy?" An officer beside him swallowed, still in shock. He's new. He kept his eyes fixed on the figures standing alone in the chaos. Great beard hero, a bronze rank hero. The one who defeated the sinister siblings. Power Cell stirred beneath the rubble. Concrete shifted, debris cracked. Then, he stood up, his body trembling, but not broken. The great beard hero smiled. Not bad. Power Cell's face twisted with rage. Electricity surged across his veins. You think this is over? He raised both arms and began absorbing every nearby power source. Streetlights flickered, then died. Cars stalled. Buildings went dark. The entire district plunged into blackout. All that remained was him, his body glowing. A violent blue aura erupted around him. Then, he vanished. Boom! He closed the distance instantly. His fist rocketed forward. The great beard hero caught it. Palm to fist. Shockwave erupted. The road cracked beneath their feet. Akigan responded instantly, driving his knee into Power Cell's gut. Thud! But Power Cell didn't move, didn't flinch. He smiled, then punched back. The blow landed clean across Akigan's face. Crack! But Akigan didn't fall. He stood firm and smiled. And then, they exploded into motion. Punch! 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 Neither dodged, neither stepped back. Each blow shook the street. They crashed into buildings, shattered concrete, skidded across asphalt. Lightning exploded with every impact. Power Cell's face twisted in fury. Akigan's face, smiling, excited, alive. He was enjoying himself. Above them, a meteor helicopter hovered, streaming everything live. Below, this was war, but slowly, something changed. Power Cell's aura flickered, dimmed. His breathing grew heavier, slower. Akigan noticed and pressed forward. A jab to the face. Power Cell staggered, panting, weakening. Akigan stepped forward. You're done. He drove his fist into Power Cell's gut. Boom! Power Cell folded forward. Blood burst from his mouth. Akigan followed instantly. A thunderous finishing punch to his jaw. Krah! Power Cell collapsed. Defeated. Akigan stood over him. Calm. It's over. Power Cell laughed weakly. It is. He raised a trembling finger, pointing behind Akigan. But for you. Akigan turned and froze. Amoeba stood fully regenerated. His body reformed completely. He had entered the final army transport, slaughtered the officers inside, and now, the prison doors hung open. Commissioner Jones screamed, "No!" From within the armored truck, a man stepped out, slowly, calmly. Mikhail Sukorov, bloodthirst, TA villain. He held 2 army officers in his hands, one in each grip, their bodies weak, drained, helpless. He sank his teeth into one. Blood flowed, his muscles hardened, strength returning, power rising. Commissioner Jones raised his trembling arm. His voice cracked through the chaos. Everyone, fire at once. Gunfire erupted. Rifles screamed. Bullets tore through the air and struck Mikhail Sukorov. Again and again, rounds ripped through his shirt, fabric tearing apart, revealing the red-hued skin beneath. A body hardened by blood absorption, forged like living armor. But to him, it meant nothing. The bullets struck his body, like dewdrops hitting stone. Pointless, harmless. An officer charged him in desperation. Bloodthirst raised his arm and punched. His fist tore through 3 officers at once. Bodies collapsed, lifeless, discarded. The road ran red. But on the other end, before the great beard hero could move, from behind, Power Cell grabbed the beard hero, clinging to him desperately. Still alive, his grip tightened. Power Cell looked up and smiled weakly. For our boss. His body began to glow, electric energy surging violently through his veins. Unstable, overloaded. Akigan's eyes widened. No! Boom! A catastrophic explosion ripped through the street. Fire swallowed the road. Shockwaves blasted through nearby buildings. Kara screamed into the comms. Akigan! Her voice cracked through the control room. Fiona stood beside her, petrified, speechless. Bloodthirst watched the explosion calmly. A noble sacrifice. He stepped forward and began his rampage. He moved like death itself, killing without resistance, without mercy. Officers fell one after another. Amoeba stood in the distance, watching, smiling, excited by the rain of blood. Commissioner Jones stood frozen. His weapon trembled in his hand. Above, the helicopter streamed everything live. The entire city watched. Fiona and Kara stared at the screen, frozen, horrified, unaware of Akigan's fate. 2 remaining officers fired desperately. Bloodthirst grabbed them both and slammed their heads together. Crack. Silence. Commissioner Jones fell to his knees. Broken, defeated, Bloodthirst walked toward him slowly, smiling. 5 years I waited for this. He grabbed Jones by the throat, lifted him effortlessly. I will torture you first. He leaned closer. Then I will kill you. His smile widened. And then, your wife, your daughter, and every single person connected to you. The city trembled in fear. A voice cut through the smoke. Annoyed. Man, these nanites take forever to regenerate. Bloodthirst stopped, slowly turned. Through the burning wreckage, a figure emerged, unharmed, unbroken. The great beard hero stepped forward. His eyes locked onto Bloodthirst. Cold, unshaken. All right, Dracula. He stepped closer, put the commissioner down. Bloodthirst turned slowly and smiled. He tossed Commissioner Jones aside like garbage. The commissioner crashed across the road, gasping for breath. Bloodthirst rolled his shoulders. I'll get back to you. His eyes locked onto Akigan. But first, he stepped forward. Let me deal with this clown. His body glowed. Blood coursed across his skin. Akigan didn't reply. He stepped forward and punched him, direct, straight into his abdomen. The impact echoed, but Bloodthirst didn't move. He smiled, then counted. Both fists slammed into Akigan's head. Crack! Akigan felt it. His body dipped slightly, almost kneeling, but he stopped himself. Bloodthirst tilted his head. Is that all you've got? Silence fell. Akigan's eyes lifted slowly, and something had changed. His expression was no longer calm. It's been a while. His voice dropped. Since I actually felt something. Bloodthirst attacked first. A violent kick toward Akigan's skull. Akigan caught it midair. His grip tightened, and he threw him upward. Bloodthirst laughed as he rose to the sky. This won't do anything to me. Akigan vanished and reappeared below him, then punched him. Boom! Bloodthirst's expression changed. Akigan didn't stop. He pulled his arm back and punched again, and again, and again, each punch launching Bloodthirst higher into the sky. Bloodthirst's hardened skin began cracking. Pain surged through his body. For the first time in years, his eyes widened. Stop! Akigan rose above him. Both fists raised high and brought them down. Together. Krah! Bloodthirst fell from the sky like a meteor. He slammed into the road. The ground collapsed beneath him. A massive crater formed. Dust exploded outward. Silence followed. Bloodthirst lay at the center, broken, unable to move. Akigan descended slowly, landing beside him. He raised his foot, ready to end it. Then, stop. Akigan froze. A voice from behind, cold, threatening. He turned. Amoeba stood in the distance. His arm transformed into a massive scythe, wrapped tightly around Commissioner Jones' neck. One twitch away from decapitation. One more move. Amoeba smiled, and this old man's head comes clean off. Don't worry about me. Commissioner Jones coughed, his voice weak but firm. Bloodthirst must never be left free. Take him into custody. Amoeba's scythe tightened around his throat. The blade pressed deeper into the skin. A single drop of blood slid down. That's enough, Amoeba whispered. Ooh, shush. Akigan exhaled slowly. All right. His voice was calm, controlled. Take him. He raised his hand slightly. And leave. Let the commissioner go. Amoeba began laughing. You think me a fool? His voice turned sharp. The moment I let him go, you'll take us both. He leaned closer to Jones. You do what I say. He pointed at Bloodthirst's broken body. Carry the boss, and place him near the pool of blood. Akigan didn't argue. He lifted Mikhail's body, and placed him beside the spreading blood of fallen officers. Bloodthirst moved. Slowly, weakly, he reached forward, and drank. The blood flowed into him. His wounds began healing instantly. His cracked red armor hardened again. His breathing stabilized. His strength returned. He stood, reborn. Amoeba spoke into his comms. Now! The sound of blades echoed above. A black helicopter descended from the sky, its engines roaring, its shadow swallowing the battlefield. Bloodthirst entered the helicopter. The door shut, and it lifted into the sky. Escaping, Commissioner Jones closed his eyes. Defeated, broken, Amoeba released him. Sirens echoed. Backup had arrived. Special containment officers surrounded Amoeba. Secure him. They deployed an airtight containment capsule. Amoeba stepped inside voluntarily, smiling, unbothered. The capsule sealed. He was taken into custody. Commissioner Jones walked toward Akigan, his shoulders slumped under the weight of failure. His eyes hollow. I'm sorry. His voice cracked. Despite your efforts, my incompetence led to his escape. He lowered his head, unable to look at him any longer, then walked away in silence. Akigan remained where he stood, alone, still, watching the dark sky where the helicopter had vanished.